Hello, welcome to Record Time. Record Time is a weekly Akashic experience where we explore simple and mysterious themes through the lens of the Akashic Records. My name is Mina, and I'm happy to be here with you. I spent some time kind of setting up a thing. I'm traveling, and so I was like, I want to have a fun background for y'all today. So my phone is resting. You'll never guess. It's resting on a coffee maker and a box of tissues, because that's all I could find to prop it up so I could have the fun background. So I just had to share that because I think it's funny. But yeah, it looks kind of like I'm on a green screen. That's how it feels like, but it's real. So anyway, I'm happy to be here with you. Thank you for being here with me. If you're an old friend, welcome back. If you're a new friend, welcome. And either way, if you're unsure of what the Akashic Records are or what an Akashic Record reading is, I invite you to check out my website, minaruchi.com. And there I have some videos explaining exactly those things. And so that's a great place to dive in if you're new and are curious. Okay, but for now, take a moment to arrive here. If it's safe and accessible, if you're able to, and if it feels good, you can close your eyes. And take a moment to notice, when you inhale, where is your breath landing? Is it kind of just right up here? Do you feel like it's actually landing in your lungs? Is it going really deep into your belly? Is it a little bit shallow? Would it feel good to slow it down and elongate your breath? Just play here for a second and allow your breath to find a natural, really enjoyable, pleasurable rhythm. I'm gonna tune into the records and see what they have to share. So they are sharing. It's almost like a secret. They're like joking and they're whispering. They're like, you're allowed to have preferences. In case you forgot, or in case you didn't know, you are allowed to have preferences. Take a moment to notice how that lands for you. What does that mean to you? Just without any other context. Does that feel obvious? So does it feel so obvious that it's agitating? Or does it feel like, okay, I don't know about that. See how you respond to that as I elaborate through the records. They're saying that in kind of like mainstream spirituality and mainstream personal development, there's this common idea that resistance can illuminate something that's like waiting for us. That when we feel resistance to something, it's something that we have to break through and push through because it's a lesson, or there's something we're supposed to be learning, or that is how we grow, is through resistance. And they're saying there is some validity in that. And it can become really easy and really tempting and natural, right? There's innocence here. It's like, we don't mean to do this. And I definitely do this. We don't mean to do this, but when we look at life that way. When we feel resistance, and then we remind ourselves and teach ourselves that, oh, whenever there's resistance, it means that it's something that I'm meant to break through. It's something that I need to work through. It means that there's, a gift or a lesson or growth on the other side. This is making me stronger, etc. When we get into the rhythm of that, we can forget that sometimes what feels like resistance is actually just our system saying no. And this is something that requires delicate balance and compassionate reflection, compassionate discernment. And for me, and for folks like me who tend to gravitate towards intensity and can sometimes be a little masochistic, when resistance shows up, it's tantalizing almost. It's like, ooh, yay, another challenge, another big difficult thing to work through. And it can be addicting to do that. And yet they're reminding us to not mistake every experience of resistance with what is actually a deep no, a soul level, body level no, because sometimes those feel the same way. And so when you notice resistance, if you're really into personal development, or if you've, even just in the last few times resistance has come up for you, they're reminding us to just insert a moment of compassionate reflection and discernment. Another way to say that is pause. When you feel resistance, pause to just check in and see, is this an opportunity? That part of me is a little bit scared or hesitant or has some resistance around, but underneath the resistance, it's still a yes. It still feels good. And it feels like an opportunity that I want. It feels like it's still in alignment. Is it that? Or is it just that I don't want to do that? I would prefer not to do that. And that's something that, again, just requires compassion for yourself, compassion for the fact that you're a human being with preferences. You're not a personal growth machine, and your soul isn't always just creating and inviting in resistance for you to grow through. And it's just a reminder not to get caught up in looking at all moments of resistance as something you must feel obligated to work through in order to receive something or benefit or grow. And it's such a natural, again, it's like a natural rhythm to get into, because I feel like this idea of working through our stuff, processing stuff, moving through resistance, all of that is super valid, and that messaging is common, I think. But again, don't forget that you have preferences and that it's okay to just prefer not to do something. And taking the time to acknowledge your humanity and allow your humanness to be part of your decision-making process, and not just forcing yourself through because it's for your soul's growth or your soul's evolution or your personal evolution. Remember to bring in your humanity into how you move through life. And part of that, a big part of that, is acknowledging and coming to awareness around your preferences, acknowledging that you have preferences and learning what those are. And so this goes back to what we were discussing recently in a recent episode of Record Time, is where are you sourcing your joy from? Really, honoring that and treating that as important, learning where joy and pleasure comes from for you, getting familiar with what that feels like. So when something is actually a no because you prefer not to do it, you're able to tell the difference. So becoming familiar with what feels good and pleasurable is a really beautiful use of your time. It's a worthwhile endeavor because it helps you discern when something is a yes, a joyful yes with a little bit of resistance, but overall it's a yes, versus, oh, I just don't want to do that. I would prefer not to. I don't like that. I don't feel like it. So spending time becoming aware of what feels good and acknowledging the fact that, yeah, some stuff does not feel good, and that's okay. It's allowed for not everything to feel good. That's okay. And that's important information. That's like important information you can fold into how you move through life, how you make decisions. Okay. So I'm gonna leave you at that for today. I'm so curious how that might land for you. Yeah, what do you think about that? How does that feel to you? Do you find yourself getting caught up in just treating all moments of resistance like something you have to work through? Or are you like good at discerning between, oh, that's just not my preference? Are you in touch with your preferences or not? I'd love to know. All right. Yeah, and if you'd like to share with me, feel free to reach out to me. In a comment, through a message, email, whatever works. I love hearing from you. All right. I'm wishing you well. Until next time, namaste.